Hello, my name is Eddie Willis, and I'm a planner for East Bay Regional Park District. This short video will provide an overview of the preferred design concept for the former Roddy Ranch Golf Course, habitat restoration, and public access plan. The development of this plan is a partnership between East Bay Regional Park District and the East Contra Costa County Habitat Conservancy. We have hired Restoration Design Group as our lead consultant to conduct studies and draft a plan to open the former golf course as a future regional preserve. We've also received support and additional funding from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and the California Wildlife Conservation Board. The former Roddy Ranch Golf Course is located within the larger future Deer Valley Regional Preserve, which is a collection of approximately 3,700 acres of land immediately southeast of Black Diamond Mines Regional Preserve on the Antioch-Brentwood border. Roddy Ranch Golf Course and Deer Valley are also part of the larger habitat conservation system in eastern Contra Costa County. These habitat conservation lands were primarily set aside for protection of endangered and threatened species and the preservation and restoration of habitat. We believe that the former Roddy Ranch Golf Course will be one of the first parts of this habitat system to open up for public access. In the 1970s, Jack and Donna Roddy moved to the area south of Antioch, purchasing approximately 2,000 acres of open space. And they used this primarily for grazing and for ranching. In the early 2000s, Mr. Roddy opened up the Roddy Ranch Golf Club on part of his property. It served thousands of golfers over the years who enjoyed outdoor recreation on the site until it closed in 2016. In 2018, the Park District and the Habitat Conservancy jointly purchased the land to develop it into a new regional preserve. This is an overview of the planning process involved with the former Roddy Ranch Golf Course. We began with field studies in 2020 through 2021, taking a look at the conditions on the site. And this was compiled into an existing conditions report and presented to the public at a meeting in the spring of 2021. After receiving initial feedback from a variety of stakeholders, we developed 3 alternative draft concepts in the summer of 2021 and presented those at a follow-up public meeting. Receiving further feedback, we developed those ideas into a single preferred concept, which we will be presenting to you now. Alongside developing this preferred concept, the district is undertaking environmental review of the former golf course per the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA. We anticipate that a final habitat restoration and public access plan will be available in mid-2022. This is a list of some of the goals for the project, including restoration goals and recreation goals. On the restoration side, we're looking to enhance and restore the landscape and generally bring the former golf course into more of a natural preserve. On the recreation side, we're looking to open the golf course as one of our East Bay Regional Parks, while providing a variety of outdoor passive recreation opportunities, including hiking, biking, horseback riding, and picnicking, while also planning for eventual connections to nearby regional preserves, such as Black Diamond Mines. Next, we'll take a look at some aerial footage of the golf course as it currently exists. This is heading over the course toward the west with Mount Diablo in the distance. This is rising and looking toward the northeast, toward Brentwood and Antioch. This is coming back over the course to the east. Notice the former golf cart paths below. And in the center is the former parking lot, which will become the future staging area. And finally, this is looking southwest toward Mount Diablo in Deer Valley. Based on some initial feedback from various stakeholders, including the general public, our project team developed these 3 draft design concepts. These images are looking out over the golf course from a perspective or bird's eye view. And each design concept is a little different with trail alignments, but they share some things in common. Each has some common restoration features, including vernal pools and wildlife ponds and seasonal wetlands and restoration of the landscape, as well as some common public access features such as multi-use trails, overlooks and viewpoints, shade structures, and interpretive areas. After presenting these design concepts to our stakeholders, we received further feedback and used that feedback to develop a single preferred concept. Feedback was received from elected officials and project staff, the general public, as well as state and federal agencies. This is a bird's eye view of the preferred concept design. The dashed lines represent the accessible loop system, which will be an all-weather surface trail to allow year-round access to many parts of the future preserve, including access to an overlook. The solid yellow lines are multi-use natural surface trails, which will be open to mountain bikers, hikers, and equestrians. Here we're looking at a plan or a map view of the preferred concept. And I'll highlight 3 specific areas of interest. We'll begin at the bottom right at the future staging area. Just off this staging and parking area will be a dedicated equestrian and bus parking area with a soft surface trail that will lead to the rest of the trail network. Around the staging area, we also include a small picnic area split between an upper and lower section, an interpretive pavilion for environmental education programming, restrooms, and water facilities. Trees will be planted around the parking lot to provide shade. Looking further out is the trail network running through the former golf course. The dashed lines are part of the accessible loop, which will take visitors to an overlook. This is approximately 1.5 miles in length with an approximately half-mile inner loop for shorter trips. And further, there is an additional 2.5 miles of natural surface multi-use trails, which will be open to a variety of users. And zooming in at the northern or lower parts of the golf course, these are future wetland areas with 300-foot buffers drawn around them. And these may provide habitat to amphibians, including newts and frogs, as well as native birds. And we were careful in the design to make sure that the trails did not interfere with these potential habitat areas. This is an artist's rendition over the east overlook near the center of what is now the former golf course. The gray path is part of the accessible loop system and will be open to a variety of users in all weather conditions. In the distance is Mount Diablo and the ridges above Deer Valley. And in the center of the image are future natural surface multi-use trails. This is the artist rendition. And this is what the site looks like currently. Here we have another artist rendition looking toward the east near the staging area. This shows the green grass, which is typical after winter rains. In the foreground is the accessible loop trail. Near the center right is a proposed interpretive pavilion used for environmental education purposes. And at the far right, the cluster of trees are part of the future staging area. This is the artist's rendition of a future park, and this is what the site looks like today. These are some of the next steps and milestones in the planning project. As a recap, we conducted public meetings to present the existing conditions report in March of 2021, and a public meeting in July of 2021 to present the draft design concepts. We also held an open house event in the fall of 21. We are currently fine-tuning the preferred concept and conducting environmental review of the site, and anticipate that we will have a final plan available for adoption by our elected board of directors in the summer of 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in to this short video to learn about the preferred design concept for the former Roddy Ranch golf course. We would love to hear your questions and comments by visiting our project webpage at www.ebparks.org, and by submitting your comments in the comment box at the bottom of the project webpage. I also have listed here my contact information if you'd like to reach out to me directly. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope to see you out enjoying your East Bay Regional Parks.